I pretty much didn't do anything since the last time I was working on this chair, so luckily we can just pick up right where we left off. So if you're watching this, it's been a couple months, maybe 2 months already since the last time we did this. So you can go back to that first video, the part 1 of the upholstery. I believe that's video number 12. So go back to that video on the playlist. But we're gonna pretty much pick up right where we left off. You'll notice that right now I'm wearing my GoPro Session camera on my head. I usually don't wear it, so this is the first time I'm wearing it for you guys. I really don't care too much for it. I feel kind of weird about it, but I'm doing it for you guys because I know a lot of this work that I'm going to be doing is going to require a lot of close-up images, so you guys can really see what I'm doing with my hands and putting this upholstery together. So alright, so one of the things we're going to tackle right off the back is this cushion. We're going to make some repairs to it and stick this guy back on. So let's do that first. So the only major tear I see is right here, so I just need something to prop that open. We're going to be using the Super 77. This is a contact glue, so we got to prop it open like that for a little bit. So spray the 2 halves. And don't stick it just yet. Let both halves like dry just a little bit, so where it's tacky and not wet. So you don't want that to stick just yet. And that's only about 2 or 3 minutes. You don't want it to dry out completely either. The other thing we're going to do today is we're gonna make some foam to build up the missing section there. So this is foam here. I have a couple different foams here. So from Smooth On. The other place that I go is Douglas and Sturgis, I don't know, .com maybe. And they're based at Richmond, California, which is just really close to where I live. I'm trying to look for a. So they also make their own stuff, So this is a 2-part foam. So the reason I got this is because I was trying to see what density I wanted. This one's a little bit squishier and this one's less squishier. The more squishier one is this one. Or a quick little tip about these different type of foams. You have different densities. You have the highest density one, which is highest density means the hardest, and then the lowest density, which is the softest. I'm going to go with this 5-pound density that I got from Sturgis, and this only because they're just down the street from, well, not down the street, but they're a couple minutes away from where I live. I just went and picked some up. But I usually get my stuff from Smooth On, but it usually comes in the mail. That one there is the 3-pound, and this is more of the 5-pound. Anyways, I think this guy here is pretty much ready. Yep, nice and tacky. So you pretty much stick that together, and that. Now you let that get nice and dry on its own. This will stay forever like that. So that's gonna take a few minutes to dry. So I'm gonna use this stuff here. And remember, I've also said that you can also buy a piece of foam. You can buy a piece of foam, and you can the way you would do it is cut a flat square. And then glue on the foam in the same manner that I did this. You will glue it on, let it dry, and then you can shave it. That's the alternative way to do it. You just shave it. I'm saying shaving it, but more like sanding it. you'd have to cut it, you know, use a razor blade, cut it, and then you would have to use a sander and just kind of contour it that way. Alternatively, you can do it that way as well, but I'm gonna do it with foam, so I'm just gonna fill it up and then contour it that way. That way I can use more of the original material here. So I'm gonna use this guy here. So we're gonna get this set up on part A and part B. So as you get the instructions are pretty straightforward. 1 part of A and 3 parts of B. The way you do that, zero this guy out. So the cup, it's this is actually taking account for the cup. The cup weighs 3 ounces. So we're gonna do 1 part. So let's do about that much. Here, let's do 10 ounces. There you go, 10 ounce, oh, a little bit more. We'll say that's 10 ounces. The reason I'm saying 10 ounces is because it's easier to round off the third part. It's easier to round off to the third part, because the third part, all we got to do is do 3 parts of that, which will be 30 ounces. So we just got to do 30 ounces of, oh shit, you know something, I forgot to mix it, but I think it'll be okay. So you got to mix it gently. Alright, let's see. So 30 ounces. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can do it by weight. You can also do it by measurement. Okay, let me, which is like a measuring cup. You can also measure it with a measuring cup. So let's do that. 30. Which you would, measuring cup, you would measure it to 3 ounce. Oh, here's 32. That's okay. That's pretty close. So if you don't have a scale, you can also weigh it. Do it by measuring a cup, or even a cup itself. Here, you would just do, measure. Put a line through for whatever section you're gonna use, and then add 2 more to equal three parts. So that's to minimize the mess. I'm going to tape around it this way. Alright, I think that's good there. You might need a disposable brush, because it'd probably be easy to brush it on as quickly as possible, because this stuff, as soon as you mix these things together, that is just, it's going to start expanding really fast. So obviously you'll pour this one, that pours in faster. So you got to do this fast. This is going to be done. This has got to be done quickly. Dump that in there like so. Mix the heck out of it like so. And brush it on like so. In fact, just pour it in there. Just pour it like so. Try to get it all an even coat as best as possible. Oh no. Trying to get that evenly coated. All right. Alright, what did I do wrong? This thing should have been expanding by now. What the hell happened here? This stuff should have been expanding a long time ago already. What's going on? Alright, so it's taking a little longer than anticipated, but I don't know, we'll see what happens. Alright, so you guys can keep an eye on it from there. And I guess ideally it would have been better to not let it dry so much. It would have been ideal to have it stick while it's still tacky. But that's fine. So we're gonna do. I think that's probably what I messed up the first time, is I didn't shake it the first time, so that's fine. I'll shake it this time. Shake it that time. And shake it. You gotta have good mixing sticks, otherwise you won't get a good mix. So, alright, we'll use this one first. Better. Not exactly what I had in mind, but I'll take it. So now this one wants to expand all crazy and stuff. The first time it didn't. So whatever. Just let it do its thing. You need to mess with it anymore. Just let that one do its thing. Back to this one. Alright, let's see. So I gotta put this guy back together shortly, so I'll try to remember to put that back together. And when you get stuff like that, don't just yank it off, because that stuff is fused. That stuff is not coming off, so that needs to be cut out carefully. And see, that's why we put tape. That way we try to minimize the amount of material that we have to cut away. So
So now that I compare it, you know, I'm comparing the both sides. This side is a little bit denser. I'm starting to think that maybe I should have used the 3-pound density, because this one's a little bit, this side's a little bit more firmer than this side. So, you know, this one's kind of squishy. This one's kind of a little bit denser. So, just note for you guys, trying to replicate the same density, you would have to go with lower than a 5-pound. For you guys that want to try to do this, don't do the 5-pound, do the 3-pound density, which it's still okay. Like I said, this is the driver's side, and this is the side that's gonna get a lot of wear and tear on this side. Obviously, you know, this side is always, you know, damaged the most. So you know, a little bit more density should be okay, because this side right here is kind of, you know, it pulls back, and even here you can see some stress cracks right here on the foam. So if this tends to get a lot of wear, most likely this is going to outlast the rest of this, you know, because this is a little bit more denser. So you know, that's just another way to look at it. But if you want to replicate the same density, you go with a 3-pound, not a 5-pound like I did. It doesn't feel identical. So as you can see, this is pretty much as far as I can go with the blade. As you can see, I ended up cutting a little bit more than I should have on this section, so I'm gonna have to fill that part in a little bit more. Then again, I don't know, I'm gonna sand it right now, see how close I can get it to the original contour, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I got my trusty grinder. I got this sanding wheel here. Pretty much the other thing I can do is cut a round sandpaper, the really coarse one, cut a circle, just glue it or tape it on there, and that should be good enough as well too. So All right, so I think that's as close as I was able to get it. As you can see, there's still that little, this little dip right here. But I don't know if it's worth going back and try to fill that in. I did discover a little pit here. It's got a little pit there as well. But these are okay. These are normal. You know, every once in a while you'll get pits, you know, along the way. But that's pretty close. I think that's pretty close to the contour. Maybe I gotta go down a little bit more on this side here, but that's pretty close. So yeah, so like I said, this side's a little bit more firmer than this side. So this is a 5-pound density, and I imagine this is a little bit less of a pound density. So I don't know. I just tried to calculate it the best I could, you know, just by doing the squeeze factor. So squeezing it this way and squeezing it this way feels the same, but you know, if you do this and you do this, then I can feel the difference there. So you know, just going on that little squeeze factor, I try to gauge what pound density this is. So this is a 5-pound, so it's definitely denser than this. This is probably a 3. I don't know. So I'll let you guys you know, discover that on your own. But yeah, this is pretty much it here. So yeah, I'm not gonna mess with this little dip here. So this is it. This is my final product here. As you can see, it's just as good. You know, if I sit on it, it serves its purpose. It filled in the gap. In fact, you know, my bottom feels the same support, and then just the size here is what I feel the difference. So here I got a little bit more support than this side, I suppose. But again, you know, since I'm going to be, you know, climbing out of the truck on this side, maybe that's not such a bad thing, you know, that this side's got a little bit more support. So I don't know. So it seems to work. So I'm gonna leave that. I'm leaving this like this. This is a done product here. I gotta bring it down. I can feel it with my hand, you know, I can just feel it with my hand where this feels a little bit higher here. So and if I can feel it with my hand, eventually I'll be able to feel it on my side. And once I'm driving, then I'm gonna be able to feel like a little bump right here all the time, and it might bug me. So I don't know. So I'm just gonna keep shaving it down, try to get a smooth transition all the way across. But this is pretty much it.